This is my personal opinion about events that happened to me regarding Germantown, Tennessee code enforcement. Future videos, we will go into all the details, including timeline, case notes, voice recording, codes, ADA case, the maybe ADA, maybe not, the FOIAs, and the missing and inaccurate information provided by the city. But this video is about the code violations Chief Johnson watched my neighbor build without permits. Here are some reference pictures. You can see our shared 6-foot fence line and the direction that it's going, and you can see my neighbor's shed circled in red on lot 168. This is the backyard of lot 168 before the code violations. You can see the shed, and you can see the fence and which directions they're going. This is the plat map for my neighborhood on file down at City Hall. The dashed lines across the property show the protected contours and indicate how water should naturally flow onto and through the lot. Lot 168 was designed to drain downhill in front of his shed location. This is how Chief Johnson saw our yards. You can see that the pergola and the fireplace is finished, but no earth had been moved yet. Now, she would have had to have seen the elevation already started because the pergola would have had to cover, whatever it's sitting on would have had to cover those 3 steps. I understand why Germantown issued a permit for 9 feet pergola instead of the code, which is 8 feet max, because it's obvious. The pergola was already completed when the permit was issued. What I don't understand is why is it the only permit issued to lot 168? Now we're to September the 21st. Take note of the original fence post, the height and direction, the brick land marker, and the 2 parallel boards that are in 4 homeowners' property now. Again, elevation and fences are protected by code and enforced by code enforcement. I know what you're thinking. My neighbor built all of these code violations behind the city of Germantown's back. So did I. But these are Chief Johnson's case notes for the pergola permit. Per her own case notes, she was on lot 168 in June, July, and August, as well as September the 29th of 2022, 28 days after my first formal complaint. She is the chief. If anyone understands Germantown codes and how to read a plat map, I hope it would be her. What my neighbor was doing from June to September of 2022 was committing misdemeanor code violations, including changing a contour to flow in the opposite direction, which can only be achieved by elevation, diverting the flow of water with the 2 parallel boards that should be shared with 4 other directions to drain only onto lot 160. These are before and after aerial shots attached to the case notes for the pergola. You can clearly see the shed location. No retaining wall, no elevation, no accessory building, no hardscaping. However, you can see all of those things in the after aerial shot. This aerial shot from Google shows clearly how my neighbor elevated his yard and created a drain that just leads into mine. All without permits. She also watched lot 168 put up boards all around the fence except for at the bottom of the drain to impede and divert the flow of water, which is also protected by code. These pictures were taken at the same time. The bottom picture is my neighbor's drain and the top picture is my lot on the other side of the fence. If we all shared a 6-foot fence line once, and lot 168 has a 6-foot fence now, but lot 160, 161, 167, 169 all still have 7 feet fence, then lot 168 has elevation. Chief Johnson knows that landscaping is defined in Germantown Code of Ordinances minor soil erosion, but in my case notes, she labeled them as landscaping, which is not a true representation of the foot of elevation that occurred. Chief Johnson writes on city letterhead that the only change to lot 168 is that they relocated an 8x8 shed that let water flow more naturally. Same chief who can read a plat map, same chief who saw the 2 parallel boards in multiple yards, same chief who never checked the permit because they didn't have one, same chief that was present during the construction, is the same chief that said an 8x8 shed was in a space less than 7 feet at the bottom of a drain. I'm going to tell you about all these people in future videos and how they know everything that's going on in my backyard. But let's focus on the mayor, because the mayor says that Lot 168 is in compliance. But I'm having a hard time finding anywhere that Lot 168 is in compliance with Germantown Code of Ordinances. The mayor wants you to believe that they don't have to follow code, that they can just deem things in compliance. And my question for the mayor is this: is a permit valid if it doesn't have any of the requirements needed to obtain it? It's issued for a 6-foot fence with no mention of the 4 other homeowners that now have a 7-foot fence. No design plans, like what did the city agree to be built? No water plans, which is part of the code. And the mayor wants me to believe that that 6-foot fence in the bottom corner is the same as what my fence looks like now at the top and is in compliance. Look at the original fence post. That's how much elevation is going on. This is what my backyard looks like now that my neighbor has elevated his yard and changed his contour to flow only into mine. It's not even designed to flow down this way. According to the plat map, my yard is designed to flow down the other side, next to lot 159, which the city is telling me now that the only thing I can do with all this water is to keep it going downhill, which means I'm just going to be dumping it onto another neighbor. So whatever conflict is going on now between all of my neighbors is just going to get more crazy because we're going to add in the person down the way now. This is what Miss Johnson wants you to believe is the natural flow of water from a shed moving. And if you don't think, I know everyone in Germantown has water problems, but we all 3 neighbors, me, the lot next to me, and the one behind me, all have our sheds back here. Why would we all have our sheds in the lowest part of our yard? It makes no sense. And it makes no sense because my neighbor's yard is designed to drain out the front of his that way. And that is what Germantown finds to be in compliance. And it's not just that side of my yard. Everywhere in my yard now floods. This is not the flow of the plat mat, and this is not in compliance.